walking out the door like boom. Put it in the hoop like slang. The crowd screaming out jam. I'm too cold to back. That's how we shake. Boom. Put it in the hoop like slang. The crowd screaming out jam. I'm too cold to back. That's how we shake. Jam like a white vintage, let's pump. Take a club down and watch it in slow mo. Then I ash from the wreckage and I'm walking out the door like boom.
Hello, boyos. How y'all doing? Ooh, very close. Let me change the title for the stream real quick, cause I've been busy. I've been very busy today. I didn't have the chance to read the news, and I have a good title for tomorrow. Real, by the way. As mentioned by the president of a country. Not our country, but we'll talk about. How y'all doing? Doing alright? White shirts matter. White shirt genocide. I changed his shirt again to fuck with us whites. What the fuck? Dude, fucking Destiny stream right now on Kick is fucking crazy. Remember that guy Slicker? The guy who started gambling and been borrowing tens of thousands of dollars from all streamers all around? The scammer, yeah. He is on Destiny's stream right now, foaming at the mouth. Because Ukraine is supported by the West. And he's upset about that because Iraq was destroyed by the West. Like, what the fuck? He literally is like, why Ukraine's being supported when they wanted to join NATO, so Russia invaded, so NATO's bad because they killed Iraq. Or some shit like that. It's so pathetic, bro. Obviously, Destiny does not engage into a dumb fuck argument, but he's Destiny just plays Diablo, which, oh my god, I would love to do right now. But anyway, he just plays Diablo, and they are just talking. There's like two dudes talking shit in the back. Thanks for subbing, buddy. Appreciate that. Yeah, like, bro, I really need to read about the second Iraq War, because the first Iraq War, nobody's talking about it, because unironically it was like justified, and it was, yeah, I don't think anyone is like, oh, the first Iraq War was bad. I don't think there's anyone like that. But when everyone's talking about Iraq, they're talking about the second Iraq War, and I really need to like read about it. I want to get educated. Yeah, but like realistically, nobody is. Maybe I should just ask ChatGPT, right? Maybe I should just ask ChatGPT, and it's gonna tell me if, you know, they can maybe tell me what was going on. But what's my fucking password there? I don't fucking remember. Ugh. A lot of tankies supported Saddam. I think it was base anti-American. Yeah, I don't care about tankies. Tankies are subhuman pieces of shit. Nobody will listen to anything they're going to say. So I can just disregard their opinion right away. What's the password? Give me a second. I wanna like find my password for. Was it like settings? Passwords? Where is it? Privacy? Oh, profile passwords. Okay. So my password to OpenAI is it's okay. I could tell you my password for my thing because I have authentication. Let's position it so you wouldn't see my codes for all my fucking shit. Oh. Okay. Anyone is interested in this, or is it just me? I mean, people bring up Iraq so fucking often. You're already in? They bring up Iraq so fucking often. Like, I'm just super curious, right? Like, should we ask it? I have a plus version, my guy. Tell me about No. We should ask how it begins, right? How did second Iraq War begin? Was the precursor, I should have asked, but whatever. Okay, shut the fuck up. The second Iraq War, commonly known as the Iraq War of the war in Iraq. Man, this is not looking good already. Began on March 20th, 2003. This conflict was initiated by a coalition of countries, predominantly the United States and the United Kingdom, along with Australia and Poland, under the premise that Iraq, led by Saddam Hussein, possessed weapons of mass destruction and had connections to terrorism. Wasn't Saddam Hussein in the first war? They didn't finish him off? So from what I remember, in the first Iraq war, Saddam Hussein wanted to take over Kuwait, and we saw an absolutely fantastic series that specifically talked about how NATO troops absolutely decimated with the most minuscule losses possible. Iraq fucking army absolutely decimated, record time with record losses on the Iraqi side. Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Aristovich finally telling the truth? First of all, Aristovich never lied, okay? Sometimes he would say things that he was not sure about, and then he would apologize for it, which I can respect. Biden administration betrayed Ukraine? Bro, Biden administration is the only administration that started supplying unequivocal amount of weapons to Ukraine, okay? So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We read Zaluzhny's article, and he says that we need ammunition and we need planes, and he's constantly talking about that. But, like, I mean, besides America, there's European countries that are not providing us F-16s either. So it's not only about America. Arestovich should say stuff like this. He was saying the exact... Arestovich was upset when the Allies wouldn't provide us tanks because they thought it's escalation, and he was pretty upset. But again, when you're talking, like, when you're reading subtitles, you have to know the cadence of Arestovich. He can be pretty harsh, but he is not fuming at the mouth, being very upset about that. He was saying that the Allies were not supplying us tanks, and they should. And when they did supply, he's now going to the next thing. Arestovich is doing his job. Yeah, I agree that the countries could always do more. But again, I don't want to be like, listen, I'm Ukrainian. I know I want this more than any of you, okay? I just want to be objective. We do not know what is going on there. We do not know what is going on behind the scenes, right? You want me to translate the whole like, there's timestamps on this.
С символикой.
Okay, let's talk about this. We'll come back to Iraq. I think ChatGPT is a trustworthy thing about like historical shit because he was trained on Wikipedia and stuff, so I assume he would be giving us correct information, especially the fourth version. So I have high trust in it. If we're gonna read some bullshit, then call it out immediately. Okay, what is happening here? They don't add English subs here, right? They should. Fuck, man, they should. Kind of lazy, dude. I bet they could hire a guy who could just like. It's not even that much money.
Арестовича и Фейгина за активное участие в вопросах и так далее. Мы условия расскажем в ближайших эфирах.
Right.
Так что голосуйте, для нас важно получить справочное это голосование для понимания. Нас смотрит. Вопрос заключается в следующем. Залужный дал интервью.
Zaluzhny gave an interview.
Масштабное интервью, мне кажется, немножко такое как-то где-то раздраженное, где-то с упреком, как раз то, о чем ты
a little bit upset from Zaluzhny's side.
сказал. А как раз с объяснением, почему, собственно, часто ожидания...
We read the interview where it's like the expectations that from the counteroffensive are such... are higher than what we're giving in return. Like basically, we're not being provided planes, but we're expected to achieve everything like super fucking crazy.
Совпадает с реальностью, потому что, в общем говоря, идет как идет. Я уже, как он сказал, я боюсь соврать, то что.
Are you watching Destiny's stream where Slicker is on? Dude, he said that Hitler is better than fucking US presidents. Holy shit. He's like unhinged, bro.
Устал, только какой-то он глагол употребил. Объяснять...
What is he saying right now, bro? That shit is fucking crazy. Can I pull it up? Destiny. Go fuck yourself.
Final message,
Okay,
which he
yeah.
has do. You're a Muslim.
Yes.
You're a Muslim.
Okay.
You're a Muslim.
So
Yes,
okay, but you
yes.
mocked a Muslim. So is it
Oh.
not?
No, I mock the
oh.
alteration of religion
So-
that
No,
you
no,
guys
No.
engage
Okay,
in.
so should I, if
What-
I mock yours of the Sunni?
What happened here is they started discussing what kind of Muslims they are, and they started arguing between each other.
There's no Sunni Muslim. It's just Muslim. That's what he said. He doesn't even consider you real. Okay, to be clear.
Me? Are you
No,
saying
no,
me? Are you
Karantos
saying
side.
me?
No, yeah,
No, no,
Karantos.
he
Karantos doesn't
agrees with
believe.
me.
Karantos doesn't believe in Sunni Shia. He doesn't think that's real. He's like,
Beautiful,
it's just
right.
Muslim. It's just Muslim.
He agrees
Right.
with me. Slicker agrees with me.
No, he
Right.
doesn't.
Okay, I don't care about that. Fucking holy shit. Anyway.
Что, в общем, контрнаступление это вот не игра какая-то, тут люди гибнут и так далее. А вот опять же, как же с самолетами, как же с...
Okay, so he's commenting on the article about Zaluzhny that we read, where Zaluzhny says that, hey, listen, like, there's people dying every day in the counteroffensive, and you want to see success, but, you know, I have soldiers dying, and I don't like that. I would need more
Вы
weapons.
дайте другие средства, которые необходимы для повышения динамики, для интенсификации контрнаступления и так далее. Вот он 4 раза за всю войну дал интервью, между прочим.
So Zaluzhny only gave 4 times interview.
4-е. Причем, ну, он там иконы.
Bro, nobody's sabotaging Lend-Lease. You have no fucking idea how even Lend-Lease works. Lend-Lease was approved, and Lend-Lease is, okay? It works, it's there. However, America right now is providing weapons to Ukraine outside of Lend-Lease because they can. It's like they made sure that Lend-Lease is approved, and now the president has the power, aside Congress, to give out aid through the Lend-Lease, military aid, to Ukraine. However, it's called Lend-Lease, right? So what is given to you, you can use, and then you have to return. Right now, all the weapons that are provided to Ukraine is using and can keep. You also need to pay for all the weapons that you receive on the Lend-Lease if you cannot return them, which means that you lose them. They're getting captured or they're getting destroyed. So right now, while the Lend-Lease was approved and America can give us weapons and ammunition and stuff like that through the Lend-Lease, they don't do that yet because they have a better way of giving us weaponry. If that way that they're using right now cannot be done anymore for plethora of reasons, then they could start giving weapons through the Lend-Lease. Do you understand that?
Сдавал и так далее, дает западным изданиям, опять же, с целью, ну, в общем, понудить, убедить именно западную аудиторию к...
No, they didn't pay back the Lend-Lease after the World War II. Russia didn't pay. I don't know about Ukraine. Russia didn't pay, but Russia doesn't want to be in good relations with... I'm wrong on that? I'm literally not wrong on that. Give me a link where it says otherwise, or just shut the fuck up. Why are you just saying you're wrong? You're wrong. Provide me a source that says I'm wrong. Wrong. Right? Wrong. Anyway, so, back to this.
реактивности какой-то, ну, давайте дадим оружие. Ну, вот такое.
By the way, Arestovich was talking about this when Lend-Lease was approved. Back then, when people in Ukraine were asking why we're not being provided weapons through Lend-Lease if it was approved. And Arestovich was saying exactly the same thing. So you're citing Arestovich, saying that Arestovich says that Biden administration failed Ukraine, and you're A-okay with that interpretation. But when he says something that you don't agree with or you don't understand, now it's wrong. You're a fucking moron, my guy.
Как ты это оцениваешь?
Same fucking source.
Что думаешь по этому поводу?
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the article from Zaluzhny? Here's what you've been talking about, so let's...
Ну, как ему не быть раздраженным?
How Zaluzhny cannot be upset?
Ну, вот расскажи, почему ему быть
От
разработан?
Залужного требуют решить нерешаемую с военной точки
They're asking Zaluzhny to solve an unsolvable from the military perspective task.
зрения задачу. Взять подготовленную оборону противника, не имея огневого превосходства.
To take the prepared enemy defensives and take it with smaller army, basically.
вынуждая экономить снаряды и не имея превосходства
Meanwhile, not having more weaponry, and also the ammunition that you have is you have to be economical about it, not spend too many shells,
не то что превосходства в воздухе, даже паритета или даже
and not even having a parity in the air
хоть
as well,
какой-то способности отбиться
Or
от новейших
some-
российских самолетов типа
or some capability to destroy Russian. I mean, he's a little bit.
Су-25, которые видят на 450 километров, разбивают наши самолеты со 150.
So Arestovich is saying that now here's I would like to analyze his answer. His answer is really good, but it's not necessarily very truthful. He says right here that we don't have the capability to destroy Russian planes, and he says because Russian Su-35s have the radars of 450 kilometers of cone of vision, and our planes have 150 kilometers cone of vision. That is true, but that does not mean that we don't have any capabilities to destroy Russian planes. We have, right? It's not the planes that we have that will be the capability that I'm talking about, but he's like omitting everything else, which is it's nothing he says is false except us not having the capability to destroy Russian planes, not with our planes. So.
А мы видим на 120 и сбиваем с 60 в лучшем случае. Ну и что? Что ты тут навоюешь? Особенно в направлении на полуостров Крым, где 5 российских военных аэродромов.
Especially in the Crimea direction, when Russia has 5 military airfields there.
Короткое плечо, быстрое реагирование и так далее.
Nikon released a new camera, so why provide Ukraine with nukes?
Это нехорошо.
Anyway, it's not good.
Как это изменить?
Это просто
How can you change this?
нехорошо. Дать нам F-16 и дать нам атакамсы и все
Give us ATACMS and give us F-16s to change the situation.
остальное. Дальнобойное оружие, которое достанет до крымских баз.
Long-range weaponry that can hit Crimean bases.
Об этом говорят американские сенаторы, об этом
American
говорят
senators
американские
talk
военные,
about
об
it.
этом говорят вообще
American
все,
military is
кому
talking
не лень.
about it. Everyone is talking about it.
Но решение принимает 1, может быть 2, может быть 3 человека, и
But the
они
decision is made by 1, 2, 3
пока не
persons.
принимают
And
решение.
right now
А
the
теперь
decision is
возникает
not being
вопрос
made.
такой.
And
Все
the question
сели, как
is,
ждуны, и ждут там,
everyone is
от
just
Залужного
waiting,
ждут результата. от
and
наших
they're just waiting results from Zaluzhny.
солдат. А наши солдаты что?
And our soldiers what?
Идут на мины каждый день,
Are going towards mines every day.
на пулеметы, в лоб.
On the machine guns, just
Да,
straight up.
500 метров пройти, это
To go through
подвиг
500
сравнимый, я не
meters
знаю, с чем.
Is just
С... Да,
I don't
это
even know what to
никто не
compare it to.
обиделся. Ну, это тяжело,
it's
скажем.
very, very
Вот и все.
difficult.
Кто его
I'm gonna
поставил в
just
эти
say it
условия?
like
Кто
that.
дал россиянам 9 месяцев закапываться и
Who gave Russians 9 months to
минировать
dig
всё
in,
напрочь? Об экологических последствиях этого минирования кто-то уже думает.
Anyone is thinking about the ecological consequences of such
Один день
mining?
минирования, 3 дня войны. Умножьте 9 месяцев на 3. Это при условии, что будет силы и средства. А я скажу так, что все саперные подразделения всех армий мира, если перебросить в Украину,
And to demine, it takes 3 days to demine something that was done by 1 day of
до
mining.
окончания войны, будут разминировать годами. То, что
And it's going to take years if sappers from all countries in the all armies of the world will work day and night over
там
here.
они наминировали. А это наиболее плодородные земли. Это удар по сельскому хозяйству.
And those mines are on agricultural land. So.
Основная экспортная статья Украины и, между прочим, недвусмысленно зависящая от нее Ближний Восток и Северная Африка.
And the most well, again, Arestovich is talking about that the agriculture area is mined, which is technically yes, but that's only like I believe 13% of our agricultural capacity, which is a sizable chunk, but still a chunk, right? And he says again, I don't disagree with anything he says here. That's right. That I fully sign his rhetoric here. This is very smart to put it in such light, but I just want you to understand, like, from like factual perspective, right, where it kind of inflates his answers here. which is good. Don't get me wrong. We need that stuff. It doesn't cancel out that our boys just go every day and fucking die to take back our positions.
Кто предоставлял эти самые, кто тормознул поставки вооружения и военной техники после взятия Херсона нами?
So the question was, he says, who stopped who slowed down weapon supplies after after our army took Kherson?
Ведь была пауза, если внимательно
Because there was a
посмотреть по
pause.
открытым
There was a
источникам
pause. If you look at
поставки,
the open sources,
пауза
there was a
была очень
pause.
неприятной.
There
Я
was a
так понимаю,
pause. Not
разговаривали
good.
с Путиным, обещали его, уговаривали его одуматься.
Perhaps
эта
they
вся
talked
манера
perhaps they talked with Putin. He doesn't say Biden. Maybe he implies Biden, but you shouldn't. Again, you can read it directly. By the way, you said I'm wrong, but you didn't provide anything to disprove my point. Okay, just saying. So full of shit right there. And I understand that you have a hate boner for Biden, and that's fine. I don't care. But I want you to understand that Arestovich has a goal here. The goal is to get weapons to Ukraine. And if he needs to blame some people higher up for a big audience so that it would kind of shake them up, then it's good, right? It's good that he does it. Now, is that like the case? I don't know. I don't know that Biden himself just like, no, we're not going to do it, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what they're pursuing there, right?
Все время переговаривать и все время ставить зависимость поставки от этих переговоров.
So Aristovich says, constantly having negotiations and constantly thinking about the deliveries.
Она начинает меня лично раздражать.
It starts to annoy me personally.
Я вот уже сегодня дал несколько.
Again, just a quick update, right? When this guy came in, he says that Arestovich was extremely upset with Biden administration. This is him being extremely upset.
Интервью слов не подбирал совершенно. К вечеру устал, поэтому с тобой слова буду подбирать, с нашими зрителями. Но вопрос звучит примерно так.
The question from me is this.
Вы что, блядь, испугались этого, блядь, чмошного долбоеба, сбежавшего от 3000 наступавших на Москву?
Are you afraid of this pussy-ass bitch that ran away from fucking 3,000 wankers that were... He's cursing a lot in this statement, so Mark looks like he ate a lemon. He says, so why are you afraid of this cunt bitch that got fucking pussied out against the wankers that were marching to Moscow?
Вы страшная, могучая НАТО.
You're a big, strong NATO.
С 300 тысячами сил в Европе, там, с 11 тысячами томагавков в первом ударе.
With fucking like thousands of tomahawks, planes, fucking
Да
bombers
вам
and all
можно
that
разговаривать
shit.
языком ультиматума.
You can speak with the ultimatum language.
А вы до сих пор не можете сделать так, чтобы туда не шли микропроцессоры и чипы
And you can't even stop the microprocessors and chips being sent to
американские
Russia.
преимущества, которые
Mostly
нам потом
American.
летят на голову, убивают
That are hitting us on the heads and killing our people and
наших
children.
женщин, детей, военнослужащих убивают и так далее.
Military men,
Что
etc.
Intel поставляет. Остальные американские корпорации. Вы что, свои фирмы укоротить не можете?
You can't do anything about your own
Что там у вас
factories.
происходит,
What is happening there?
товарищи? Вот и все.
That's it.
Убедительно?
That's it. Is that
Так вот,
convincing?
да.
Convincing.
И они нам будут... И Милли сегодня же отреагировал. Он сказал, ну да,
And Milley reacted today. He said,
наступление это так вот
yeah,
кроваво.
the counteroffensive
Это
is
вот
bloody.
значит так вот как бы
and
война, она же на
it's
бумаге, она
war.
отличается от реальной войны. В этих машинах, которые взрываются реальные люди.
In people that in the IFVs that explode, there's people inside
Глубокое
that
понимание
explode too.
американского главнокомандующего поразило меня до глубины души, например. Осталось задать ему вопрос, хорошо, а где военная помощь? Необходима.
So it did impress me, his understanding of the value of the human life. But the question is now, okay, you understand that. Where's the action? Where's the military aid
Для целей, которые мы перед собой ставим.
to achieve the targets
Понимаешь, в чем
that
парадокс
we're
дурной? Мы как бы завершим это контрнаступление, мы пробьем оборону.
He says, here's the stupid thing about it. We will do the counteroffensive, and we will go through Russian defensive.
Противника дойдем до моря,
We will reach the
рано или
sea.
поздно. Вопрос цены,
The question is all about the price
вопрос времени.
and
Но самое
time.
главное,
And the most
Это
important
организация второго контрнаступления.
is the organization of the second counteroffensive.
Когда уже приедут эти F-16 и так далее.
When the F-16s and everything else is going to be
Сколько они
here.
будут приезжать?
And
Опять им
how
дадут?
long it's
Сколько им
gonna
месяцев
take?
опять дадут
How
на
many
закапываться и
months?
на заминироваться снова?
How many months will provide Russia to, again, mine and dig trenches?
На призвать еще людей и так далее. Война должна быть
And then conscript more people.
быстрой, молниеносной, чтобы не было
We need a fast and lightning offensive,
возможно, потому что каждый день
not to
затягивание
give an ability for Russians to build defensive
создает
lines.
им пространство для решения.
Because every day that we're like scratching our ass gives time for Russians to think.
И возникает очень много вопросов к
There's
нашим
many
любимым
questions
союзникам. Очень.
to our favorite allies
Про серые схемы, про серый
about the third country
флот,
imports,
300 с лишним танкеров, которые как возили нефть, так и возят.
about 300 oil barges that still supply oil,
Про американские чипы и не только американские, но преимущественно американские
about American and other
детали,
microprocessors
которые идут в Россию и
that are being
потом
imported
становятся
in
в
Russia
калибры. И все
and are
эти
being
кинжалы и
installed in
позволили им
calibers and
нарастить
кинжals.
производство. Потому что ГУР наш заявлял в конце зимы, что у них ракет 80 где-то в квартал.
Because our Ministry of our intelligence claimed that Russians capable of to produce about 80 missiles a quarter.
А теперь у них 80 в месяц, по заявлению того же самого ГУРа. А что там?
And now they have about 80 a month.
В 4
Why?
раза.
4 times the
В
difference?
3, вернее, подскочило. Потому что
times.
идут из
Because
Пакистана каравана. Значит,
They get shit from
есть работа для
Pakistan.
тюльпана. Потому что
Like,
идут
he says he references something. It's basically they're getting their shit.
чипы из Америки, детали из Америки. Почему, если F-16 в принципе даются, летчики начали обучаться, почему
Why, if F-16s are being given and well, technically on paper, and our guys are being trained
идут
on
в
them,
октябре или ноябре,
why they will give them in October or November
или, как они говорят, может быть, даже в 2024 году, а не дать их в мае,
And
это их
not-
контрнаступление, которое решающее.
and not give us the planes before the counteroffensive?
Даже если вы хотите переговоров, то для создания
Even if you want the negotiations to create the necessary conditions for negotiations,
переговоров с позиции силы. Почему?
we will have to have a position of power. Why? The question.
Почему наша пехота должна платить за это?
Why
кровью?
our infantry
Почему
has to
должны
pay with blood
украинские
for that?
граждане должны платить за это кровью?
Why
Мы что, не
Ukrainians
коллективный
have to
Запад
pay for that?
охраняем здесь, защищаем?
What we're defending collective West pretty much over here.
Или не у нас, по вашему велению, отбирали ядерное оружие и рассказывали, что
Or it wasn't you who convinced us to give up our nuclear weapons and were telling us that we'll be
мы
safe.
остаться в составе Советского Союза. Нам же это рассказывали американцы с трибуны Верховной Рады. Ни в коем... Все, что угодно, только не выходите из состава Советского Союза.
And they were telling us not to leave Soviet Union back in the day as well.
Нам летят на голову ракеты, которые мы передали из Украины, из
We are receiving back the missiles that we gave to Russia when we were
самолетов, которые мы передали в
demilitarizing
Россию по просьбе американцев.
as per request from Americans.
Ну, что
И теперь они делают хорошую мину при плохой игре и рассказывают, ну да,
And now they're trying to do a poker face.
наступление это так
And
тяжело,
they're saying that yeah, it's difficult. The counteroffensive is difficult.
ко-ко-ко и так далее. Почему британцы дали Storm Shadow, который
Why UK gave us Storm
летят
Shadow
дальше, чем Атакамс?
that go even further than ATACMS?
Мы их применяем, и ничего не
We're
случилось,
using them and nothing happened.
если каких красных линий не перейдем.
There's no red lines that we crossed. That Russia painted on.
Storm Shadow летит на 500, Атакамсы на 300.
Storm Shadow goes 500, ATACMS goes 300.
Где?
Where are they?
А что мы сейчас услышим в Вильнюсе?
What are we gonna hear in Vilnius?
Что мы сейчас
Уверение, что все будет хорошо
Everything telling us that everything's gonna be fine.
и так далее. Неспособность укоротить одного ёбнутого Орбана.
The inability The inability to put in his fucking place one degenerate Orban.
Мы это все услышим.
We're gonna hear that or
Правильно,
what?
который нам
А он
500 миллиардов.
какой-то, блядь, совсем...
That can fucking calm the fuck
Тут
down.
500
сказал,
миллиардов,
выживут сильные
ну,
народы.
500 миллиардов,
500.
который бред несет такой, который Скобеева себе не позволяет.
Is talking crazy shit.
Который 50 миллиардов помощи нам заблокировал. Что такое отсутствие 50 миллиардов помощи?
That blocked 50 billion of help
Украине?
towards.
Это нерожденные или умершие дети в больнице. Это матери, которые не
50
вернулись
billion
семьями в
help
Украину.
is,
Это не восстановленное производство, это не разминированные территории. Они
50 billion help is blocking the 50 billion euro help to Ukraine is dead children, mined territories, destroyed houses, etc.
убивают нас этим. А эти придурки, что не могут, блядь,
They're killing us right now, and these
вместе
fuckers,
европейцы и натовцы не могут
all Europeans and NATO's,
найти укорот на
NATO
одного.
can't fucking find a way to shut the fuck up that degen in Hungary.
Стукнуть его по голове и заставить его нормально проголосовать. Что вообще происходит,
What is happening right now?
товарищи, господа хорошие?
Guys, the fuck is happening?
Не знаю насчет господ хорошо, но 155
Так
тысяч,
вот, я,
твою мысль
так
поняли.
вот я тебе скажу, что
So I'll tell you
миром правят сейчас
that the world is being controlled right now by by stupid fuckheads.
не способные ни к одному серьезному решению.
Aristovich can say whatever the fuck he wants. He's not a part of any official apparatus anymore.
Они мечутся. 36 часов в России было без власти. Это чмо, блин.
36 hours Russia had nobody at the head.
Плешивая сбежала, блядь, 3000 наступающих на Москву.
This fucking pussy ran from 3,000 alcoholic prisoners.
А военный блок, превосходящий его по силе,
What's my source for tomorrow's offensive? A president of a country mentioned that.
раз,
Serbia.
я даже не знаю во сколько, мнется с одной половины жопы на другую.
Don't get me wrong. I don't believe him, but
Не может принять решение, ой, мы то ли мнется с одной половины жопы на другую. И не может принять решение, ой, мы то ли разваливаем Россию, то ли побеждаем, то ли боимся ее развала, этой России.
and the West is sitting on their fucking chair from one side of their ass to another, thinking if they should break down Russia or not.
А вдруг ядерное оружие разбежится?
What if there's nuclear weapons gonna
Что вы
spread
делаете для того,
around?
чтобы оно не разбежалось? Прислали к нашим границам самолет, который меряет радиацию?
So what do you do to prevent nuclear disasters? Send a plane that is measuring radioactive background or what?
Они не способны. Сейчас правят миром люди, не
Right
способны
now, there's people that make decisions
принимать решения.
that are incapable of making harsh decisions.
Люди, способные принимать решения, совещались сегодня на ставка на Ровенской АЭС.
People who know how to make decisions today had a meeting near. He's talking about Zelensky and our generals and leaders.
Один руководит политической частью страны, а второй руководит военной частью.
Zaluzhny was there, so he says one person controls the political side of the country, the other the military side of the country.
У фамилии обоих на «З» начинаются. Вот эти
Both have last names on Z starting.
люди умеют принимать.
These people know how to make decisions, and they make
А те, с кем мы
decisions every
вынуждены
day.
взаимодействовать,
And people that we have to ally with every day and discuss things
союзнички,
every
не
day,
умеют
they
принимать.
cannot make decisions.
И ссутся обоссанного и без этого, блин.
And they're afraid of fucking pissed
Я
on
не знаю, полураспадающегося
Half
чувака, который неизвестно вообще
decaying
находится ли он в живых.
that is not even clear if he's alive or not.
Или двойники за него отрабатывают давно. Сбежавшего от собственного пола.
U.S. is using Ukraine to bog down Russia for as long as possible. I don't believe in that. Like, why? What is the winning scenario here? Why would U.S. do that?
Повара. Ой, атакамши, передача может...
Injures Russia? What is going to injure Russia is loss at the war.
Привести к эскалации, бе-бе-бе, ко-ко-ко, это так страшно. Ну, сейчас ёбнут, блядь, Запорожскую АЭС, блядь.
He says, mm, what did he say, bro?
Или двойники за него отрабатывают дома. Сбежавшего от собственного повара.
A guy who ran away from his own cook.
Ой, атакамсы,
Oh my
передача
God!
может привести к эскалации.
Giving ATACMS to Ukraine may create escalation risks.
Бе-бе-бе, ко-ко-ко, это так страшно. Ну,
This is
сейчас
so
ёбнут, блядь,
scary.
Запорожскую АЭС.
So they're gonna explode the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant
Или еще
or
какую-нибудь.
something
Посмотрим.
else. We're
Будет
gonna see.
эскалация или
Is there gonna be escalation or not?
Ну да. Так, 161 тысяч смотрит, и у нас
If Russia actually really fully collapsed, the world is in danger. Why? Do you like because nuclear weapons, bro?
продолжается опрос. Те, кто не заглядывает в чат, найдите такую возможность. Уже 41 тысяча.
Yeah, okay. I mean, interesting. What's gonna be the fallout of this discussion? Yeah, there's no need. There's no need to limit weaponry deliveries to Ukraine in order to attrition Russia. Russia is not stopping, right? Like, it's like, what is the difference? The only difference, if we're gonna have all the necessary weaponry or not, is the amount of losses we're gonna have on our side. Not. It has nothing to do with the Russians. So that's the only thing that makes the difference with weaponry. Like, the more weapons we have, the less losses we're gonna have. It's not gonna influence Russian side whatsoever. Okay, going back to the Iraq thing, right? So let me read this, right? So, Second Iraq War began on March 20th, 2003. This conflict was initiated by a coalition of countries, predominantly US, United Kingdom, along with Australia and Poland, under the premise that Iraq, led by Saddam Hussein, possessed weapons of mass destruction and had connections to terrorism. Here is a brief outline of the events leading up to the beginning of the war. Post 9/11 shift in the US foreign policy after the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, the US foreign policy significantly changed with a new focus on combating global terrorism. Iraq was increasingly seen as a potential threat due to its past use of chemical weapons, defiance of the UN resolutions, and alleged connections to terrorist groups. George W. Bush State of the Union address. In his 2002 State of the Union address, Bush labeled Iraq as part of the axis of evil, along with Iran, North Korea, accusing these nations of supporting terrorism and seeking, what does that mean? WMDs? What does that mean? Oh, weapons of mass destruction. Right. Throughout 2002, the US and the UK claimed to have intelligence showing that Iraq was producing weapons of mass destruction, including chemical, biological, and nuclear weapons. He says, claimed to have. Oh, we'll talk about that. And Security Council unanimously passed Resolution 1441, giving Iraq final opportunity to comply with disarmament obligations. Iraq agreed to the return of the UN weapon inspectors who were unable to substantiate the claims about the weapons of mass destruction. Decision to invade. Despite the inconclusive findings from the UN weapons inspectors, the US, the UK, and the Allies argued that Iraq was in the material breach of Resolution 1441. They maintained that military action was necessary to disarm Iraq, despite the opposition from several countries and massive anti-war protests worldwide. The US, with support from the UK, Australia, and Poland, launched an invasion of Iraq. The invasion began with a shock and awe bombing campaign. Within about 3 weeks, coalition forces had taken control of many key Iraqi cities, including the capital, Baghdad. 3 weeks, that's quick. The assertion that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction was later discredited. No significant stockpiles of any biological, chemical, or nuclear weapons were found, leading to widespread controversy and criticism of how intelligence was used to justify the war. The war resulted in significant loss of life and infrastructure in Iraq, and with the withdrawal of the US troops in 2011, all the political, ethnic, and religious instability continues. Okay, so basically there was no proof of weapons of mass destruction, which was the main pretense for the war. Okay, so that's the biggest criticism, I say. Okay, so now the next thing I wanna know is I've heard that people say that there's like maybe I should just ask ChatGPT to like give me arguments from people who argue that invasion was bad and main points that they use, maybe, because I've heard that they're saying like that there's been like hundreds of thousands of dead civilians in the second Iraq war. How many casualties was in the second Iraq war? The number of casualties in the second Iraq war 2003-2011 is a subject of significant debate, with estimates varying widely due to differences in method of data collection and interpretation, as well as what types of death, military, civilian, direct, and indirect, are counted. U.S. and coalition military casualties. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, there were 4,431 U.S. military deaths and 32,000 wounded in action. Okay, including other members of the coalition, the total number of military personnel killed was over 4,800. So it's mostly U.S. Okay. Iraqi military and insurgent casualties. These figures are even more difficult to estimate. The Iraqi military deaths during the invasion phase, March-April 2003, are estimated to range from 10 to 15,000. However, it's much harder to calculate the number of Iraqi insurgents killed during the subsequent occupation and insurgency. Estimating civilian casualties is particularly challenging due to factors such as intensity of combat operations, blah, blah, blah. The Iraq Body Count Project, which uses a combination of media reports and other verified data, has recorded between 185,000 to 200,000 documented civilian deaths from violence as of 2021. How is that even... Okay. How is that even real? Okay, maybe, I don't know. Controversial and much higher estimate comes from a series of surveys published in Lancet, a British media journal, which suggested that there was 650,000 excess deaths related to war of July 2006. This figure includes people who died because of war-related hardships. Okay, I see. Okay. Let me copy this. Oh. Okay. You mentioned this. So I would like to ask him about the the record, right? Media reports. So documented civilian deaths from violence. I want to ask how come the figure break down how civilians died according to the information. Like I would want to know, like,
the fact that Iraq went into religious civil war didn't help with civilian casualties.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, how many. So, direct violence from coalition forces. During the invasion and subsequent occupation, civilians often died as a result of direct military action by coalition forces. This could include airstrikes, ground combat operations, and situations where civilians were caught in the crossfire. Right. So, like, I mean, obviously, nobody's gonna, like, admit to their own. Like, I would like to know. Is there any recorded, like, is there any data on coalition forces directly and purposely harming civilians? During the Iraq War, there were several documented instances where coalition forces were accused of causing civilian casualties, sometimes allegedly as a result of reckless or indiscriminate action, or even, in a limited number of cases, deliberate misconduct. It's important to note that these instances were not representative of the behavior of the vast majority of coalition service members, because Americans don't care about foreign casualties. They're just bad faith statement. You shouldn't say that. I would like to know if there's any, like, proof. Because, like, what I don't like is when people who are, like, anti-West, they compare, like, Russian military and American military. This is absolutely degenerate. This is just incomparable. Russians have a green light from the military to do whatever the fuck they want. They're destroying dams. They're basically anyone who has a tattoo or speaks Ukrainian is a Nazi. And they're getting fucking tortured. Just because you're an American doesn't mean I value your opinion. A lot of Americans have this indiscriminate hate towards their fucking country, and for no fucking reason. They hate their own country because they're fucking morons who are guzzling up Russian propaganda. So, you know, sucks to be you. Sucks to be a fucking moron, but. Shock and awe meant bombing the crap out of Iraqi infrastructure. Let's just ask this. Shock and awe is a military doctrine based on the use of overwhelming power, dominant battlefield awareness, dominant maneuvers, and spectacular displays of force to paralyze an adversary perception of the battlefield and destroy their will to fight. This term was popularly used to describe the initial stages of the invasion of Iraq by the United States and its allies. The campaign, officially known as Operation Iraqi Freedom, began with an aerial bombardment on March 19, 2003. The aim was to quickly destroy or disrupt key military and government infrastructure and command and control systems, reducing the ability of the Iraqi military to respond effectively to an invasion. While military and government targets were a primary focus of the bombing campaigns, critical infrastructure can be affected indirectly in such operations. The shock and awe campaign was indeed intensive and caused significant damage, but the explicit intent was not to bomb the crap out of Iraqi infrastructure in general. It's important to note that international law, including the Geneva Convention, prohibits attacks against civilians, blah, blah, blah. However, the intense bombardment followed by several years of war did have a substantial impact on Iraqi infrastructure, including electricity networks, sewage treatment systems, and water purification facilities, which in turn had significant humanitarian consequences. The repair and rebuilding of this infrastructure has been a major challenge in the years following the war. Yeah, I just want to educate myself so I would know how to handle the arguments better, right? But obviously, if we're discussing, like, the war in Ukraine, people coming in with what about Iraq is just degens. Like, I don't consider them seriously. Is that a satisfactory answer to your shock and awe meant bombing the crap out of Iraqi infrastructure? So it was military infrastructure and critical infrastructure meant to paralyze the government that makes the decisions about the war. Like, I mean, it makes sense. Doesn't make it any better, but still. So, regarding the harming civilians, right? One of the most notorious incidents occurred in November 2005 when U.S. Marines were involved in what came to be known as Haditha massacre. In this incident, 24 Iraqi civilians were killed. Some of the Marines involved were charged with crimes in relation to this incident, but most were exonerated or had their charges dropped, and only one was convicted on a lesser charge of negligent dereliction of duty. This is bad, right? In another case, in 2007, employees of Blackwater USA, a private security firm contracted by the US government, were involved in a shooting in Nisour Square in Baghdad that resulted in the deaths of 17 civilians. 4 Blackwater employees were eventually tried and convicted in the US courts on charges related to the incident. This is a little bit better. In addition to these specific incidents, there were reports of practices such as the excessive use of force, the indiscriminate use of certain weapons, or rules of engagement that did not do enough to protect civilian life, all of which could lead to civilian casualties. However, the intentional targeting of civilians as a matter of policy is a war crime, and was not an officially sanctioned practice by the coalition. I feel like this is very important because this is the biggest difference between Russian military and American military, right? Like, or coalition military, let's call it like that. Like, you just cannot have a doctrine that permits indiscriminate shelling of civilian population, of torture of civilian population, of killing indiscriminately any civilian that you see on site, right? When we're like in such a fairly long conflict, 2003 to till what 2011, so it's like 8 years. Bombas, 8 years. Iraq, 8 years. For 8 years, there's like 2 big documented cases, like, you know, which was investigated. I mean, fair enough. You can say that, oh, Thompson, but these are only the ones that are being investigated. Yeah, like, I understand there could be other ones, but you don't really have proof of that, right? There could not be. There could be, and I could believe that there could be, but there's are not documented, right? There's also a good article I have that shows why the West came to believe Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. It wasn't as simple as America lied. WikiLeaks has connections with Russia. Why would you trust anything that like has on WikiLeaks? I would completely disregard that source. It's just biased. So this is the article. He probably won't be able to Google it, but this is not the one that I use for. Okay. Let me take it. Okay, it's gonna summarize this article for us. While it's doing that, let's read the other. Okay. So that's the biggest difference. This is the biggest difference between Russian military and the coalition army, right? Because Russians, just so you know, Ukraine has like 30,000 cases open currently into Russian war crimes. Shelling of civilian, not only like civilian infrastructure, but direct shelling of civilian homes, tortures, rapes, killings, decapitations, mutilations, and other type of stuff, right? Like nothing even close to what happened in Ukraine happened in Iraq. Nothing even close. Like complete cities destroyed from the face of the earth. Nothing like that was happening, and America was not doing that. Okay, just comparing these things is just like completely false. So what is it fucking gonna give me an answer? Oh, because I clicked out of the chat, it doesn't. We're not talking about Syria. We're talking about Iraq right now. We went into Iraq. We shouldn't have got into Iraq. But then again, it's like very interesting that, oh my god, reading content failed? Bro, fucking cringe. Can you not summarize the article for me? Let me use a different plugin. I have a very nice, scraper plugin. Works really well. Scrapes the data out of the website. Feeds it to fucking ChatGPT. The article from the BBC News discusses the controversy surrounding the existence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, which was the UK's justification for participating in the invasion of Iraq 20 years ago. This article is based on BBC series Shock and War, Iraq 20 Years On. Key points from the article. The then head of MI6, Sir Richard Dearlove, was among the first to inform the Prime Minister that the US was building up to an invasion of Iraq. For the US, the issue of weapons of mass destruction was secondary to a deeper drive to overthrow the Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein. The threat supposedly posed by Iraqi... So it's more like... So this article is claiming that US main goal was to get rid of Saddam Hussein because he presents like international security terrorism issues, and weapons of mass destruction was a more political thing for UK, or what? Former Prime Minister Tony Blair stated that he relied on intelligence and that the weapons did exist. Some government experts and MI6 officers had doubts about the existence of the weapons. They suggested that a confirmation bias led to the acceptance of information supporting the idea that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, while any contradicting information was dismissed. Okay. So there was like, you know, like that video is like, bro, what do you mean it was not yet undermined by Russia during this period? There's plenty of information that WikiLeaks founder had direct connections with Russia. Not a good summary of the article? Seriously? So basically, it's like that video where an anti-vaxxer woman is asking Google, right? What about the bad things about the vaccines? And Google is like, I have 1,000 sources that say they're good and one source that says it's bad. And she like takes one bad source and says, I knew it, right? Is it that's do you have any sources of this claim? That the founder of WikiLeaks has connections with Russia? Oh, fuck. Well, I have to find it. Can't you just Google it, bro? Just Google it and tell me if I'm wrong, okay? I remember reading something like that. Okay, some confirmation bias led to acceptance of information supporting the idea. The intelligence in the spring of 2002 was patchy, and there was a desperate hunt for fresh intelligence from the news sources to bolster the case for war. So they were like digging information how we can justify the war. That's not good, really. Some of these news sources were likely fabricating information for money or because they wanted to see Saddam overthrown. Saddam Hussein did once have weapons of mass destruction, but he ordered the destruction of much of his weapons of mass destruction program in the early 1990s after the first Gulf War. However, he did this secretly, partially to maintain the bluff that he might still have something he could use against the neighboring Iran. By the end of 2002, UN inspectors were back in Iraq looking for weapons of mass destruction. However, they found no evidence to such weapons. The failure to find a smoking gun did not stop the war. After the war, no weapons of mass destruction were found, led to a deep and lasting consequence for both spies and politicians. Oh, that's good. Consequences. That's good. The important points were that there were probably locals feeding bad info to the West for their own purposes, point 5 here, and that some intel workers are still confident there was a master, but Iraq probably moved it to Syria. Okay. This is a summary, a Vox article. The WikiLeaks Russia connection started way before 2016 election. So they're saying in this article that it started in 2010, and you're saying that the information prior to 2010 is trustworthy, therefore, but you don't know. What if we would find new information that it was even prior to that? Like, I'm not saying, okay, fine. I'm not saying like it necessarily had, but like, I don't know, an organization that got exposed for having Russian ties and like leaking a lot of shit on Western countries, like supporting the claim West is bad, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not against like leaking stuff, right? But like, just because some stuff was leaked that was true doesn't mean that all of the stuff that was leaked was true. I'm just trying to be careful, okay? The point I'm trying to make is this. Nobody's perfect, but painting the conversation about real horrible shit that is going on, trying to obfuscate with some other shit that other countries did during some other period is just like cringe and has no relevance to the discussion that we're having, okay? So... Checks on government activities that run counter to public interests are good. Against public interest, yeah, but is that really the case? Like, I can't imagine a Western country doing something international and global against the interests of the citizens. Like what Russia does is definitely is, but Russia is not a democratic free country, right? It's controlled by some senile fucking old fucking puke shart smear, right? So he invades, he does the war. He's trying to justify it as if it's something good for the population, but we know it's not true, right? They're just fucking getting killed by fucking hundreds of thousands in Ukraine, so they're just going there to die for nothing, right? So we know that's the case, but what is like a great international thing that Western countries are engaged in that do not support the interests of the citizens? Like, if we take Iraq war, for example, provided that they indeed thought that there was like weapons of mass destruction or international terrorism reasons, then that's directly corresponds to the interests of the citizens. Now, if we're gonna have an argument if that was true or not, right? Like that's a different argument. But then again, like at the time, did Tony Blair really thought that there was no bombs, and he decided just to do it just because he wanted to? Okay. Maybe he convinced himself that there was. It doesn't make it necessarily more right or wrong, but. Giving other countries money for fucking war is against my interests. Are you saying America? Are you saying you're an American and you're giving money to Ukraine to fight Russia? It's against your interest? Are you sure about that? How is that against your interest? I'm just curious. If that's what you're saying. If that's not what you're saying, you need to clarify what you're saying. Because if you're not gonna clarify, I'm just gonna assume what I assumed. And that will get you banned, of course. A matter of interest, Europe gave up their colonies and lost all those natural resources only to give Russia money and support their imperialism. And Europe still gets shit on for old history. No natural resources, no brownie points. It's not moral because it supports Russian war and genocide. I don't understand what you just said there. Nice haircut, thanks. Is it? Just short hair. I'm getting a little bit more hair though. Like it's kind of growing out. Could be better though. I was discussing the idea of protecting interests and why it's necessary. Well, do you want me to explain why it's necessary in the case of Ukrainian-Russian war, or what are you asking? You're saying that it's against your interest to give money for war to other countries. So, do you mean Ukraine? Because that's what's happening right now? Don't try to be fucking weaselly with me. Own your positions, don't be a fucking pussy. If that's not what you mean, then say what you meant. I think we should have sent something useful instead of just money, but you are sending equipment. That's what you're sending. Mostly you're sending equipment, not actual money. Money is mostly coming from EU for like economical and humanitarian expenditures. Is France still on fire? It seems like, yeah. We're gonna like talk about it a little bit in a moment. I am for supporting Ukraine. Just briefly mentioned America doing things for the interest of American. And I was explaining why itself it's a good thing, and simply giving up interest like Europe did is often just a massive L all around. Yeah, obviously it like depends, right? So I agree with you. Like I think that in most cases, I'm just trying to combat this narrative that Western countries are working against their own citizens. It's just not true. Like, this is just not true. In some cases, there could be some cases that you can point to that it's the case, but holistically. When you're making a statement like that, you mean holistically. We can say easily that holistically, Russia is not working towards the good of the citizens, right? So like they start the war, their citizens live in fucking shit and whatever, right? We can say that systematically for 30 years, like for 20 years, how many 30, I think it's 30 years. How many years Putin was president? He was elected in 1999. But I mean, like, we can say like for 30 years nothing changed in that country. It was like fucking shit and stuff, right? So we can say that easily, but like we can't say that with Western countries. And it's like, it's also like, what is your point that you're trying to make? If you're not saying that America is working against their own citizens, or not only America, but like not only America, but also Western countries as a whole. Western countries holistically going against the interests of their citizens, like, I don't believe that's the case, right? But if that's not the argument, but you're still like bringing up cases where it was the case, like, what are you trying to prove here? That America and Western countries, European countries, UK, France, whatever the fuck, did some whack shit. Yeah, they did. Sure. I don't think there's a single country with clean history. That's just not how it works. But to say, like, but it still doesn't prove that holistically they're doing everything against their own citizens. Like, there are countries that are interested in the West being, like, weak, right? And then those countries in the West also work against their own citizens and their own interest, like, against the interests of the country. Because at the end of the day, the country is citizens. You can't work against citizens all the time. You're gonna destroy the country that way. So if you're working against your own country and there's other countries working against your country, and you're still like have the strongest economy and the military, then what the fuck? Like, obviously it's not true, right? Like it just doesn't. Like 1 + 1 does not equal 4, right? Like, obviously something wrong here. So either like democracy and capitalism is fucking based as fuck and they can withstand all of that, or you're just full of shit, right? It's like very easy. What's this? Who is this dude? Oh, is this like a ex-military guy paid by Russia or some shit? This is what the media will not tell you. Ukrainian forces are on the verge of collapse. They're totally demoralized. They've all been killed. It's over. Oh, okay. In September 2022, he again predicted on Carlson show that this war may be over soon, and later in the month, the Ukrainian army is bled white and tens of thousands of Ukrainian troops have been killed or wounded. Ukraine is really on the ropes. Another ex-military officer sympathy for dictators is spreading disinformation. I think Christ, you're no longer leading soldiers. Guys, it's gonna happen anytime now. Anytime, guys. Anytime. It's over. Dude. The fucking boomer tweets too. It's like, here's the media won't tell you. It's over. They're all been killed. Like, bro, at least lie more convincingly. At least try to say it in such a way that you could say that that's not what I meant or some shit. Like, what the fuck? Just super fucking cringe. Oh yeah, I met some people today, and somebody told me that Adidas is going back to Russia to sell Adidas stuff. And I tried to find, like, I did a Google search, and I couldn't find anything except Russia Today saying that. And I'm like, bro, I can't fucking trust that. So I'm asking, where did you read that? Say in comments on TikTok. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, you're serious? Like, you're reading that fucking shit? And you like regurgitate that information? Like, at least say that it's like some cringe fucking bullshit that you read, but like, why you present it as if it's fucking real? It's so stupid. It's like, bro, like, you know, people, and I regret it, you know? I regret it. You see some fucking cringe shit that I hear from them? Like, seriously? You live in Ukraine where there's disinformation fucking blasted at you from every fucking hole, and you don't know how to filter out information? Bro, that's like ultra cringe. Like, I super cringed when that happened, you know? Adidas doesn't want to give up the biggest jogging suit market. I think the real reason why Western companies leave Russia is because it's very hard to do business with the sanctions, and when the country is unstable and they know, like, they don't know what's going to happen in the future. They have an option right now to exit and kind of like sell what they have there, or like freeze and, you know, stuff like that. Because when it's going to rapidly happen, it's going to be a, you know, very huge loss on the business. So, speaking of sources, can't find a source for the stream title. The source was Serbian president. But he's most likely full of shit. He has no fucking idea about anything. His claim is basically this: Ukraine will need to show some progress before the Vilnius summit. And that makes sense. And that's what Zelensky also said, that we will have to show. But he like adds on that Ukraine is gonna start tomorrow or the day after tomorrow a big counteroffensive. He can't possibly know that information. I don't think we even know that, right? So I'm like citing him in my stream title, but I don't believe that. I'm just trying to clickbait, boy. Okay, easy. Is it working? Anyone clicked on the stream because of the stream title? You never read stream title. Most of the people don't. Bro, I really hope Adidas is not gonna go back to Russia, because I will have to get rid of my whole fucking wardrobe. Ooh, is that real? Bro, so there was a... So here's the thing, right? There's plenty of videos. I'm always all caps. I don't know. It's just how I type. I just like those letters better. I think it gets more attention when it's all caps. Maybe? I don't know. If it's always all caps, you just become numb to it. I mean, you're here. Did you cover Ukroboronprom being dissolved? I've never heard that. Where'd you get that from? How can a defense, a military weapon production company in Ukraine being dissolved during the war? Are you fucking serious? Oh, they're just changing the name? Why you fucking say it like that? Oh, we're getting... Yeah, I've heard about that. Bro, like literally, why are you being so fucking cringe? Ukraine's state weapon concern, Ukroboronprom, gets a new director and a new chance at reform. Yeah, I've heard... I reported on that. We have a new guy as the head of the... Why are you saying it's getting dissolved? Are you fucking stupid? Yeah, but why are you presenting like fucking degenerate in fucking chat? The fuck is wrong with you? Do you know what dissolved means? It means like it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, basically. So, there was a video. There was a video recently with a Pisak talking about I don't want to show this video because it's fucking cringe and stuff, but this fucking degen on in Turkey, some Ukrainian women started filming him because he said that he was glad that Ukrainian troops are dying or some shit. Well, typical fucking orc degenerate, right? I hate these videos because I always hope, like, I always imagine that I would be in those situations. I would just beat his fucking face into the dirt. That's it. And I just, you know, I just get like irrationally mad. So never happens to me. Like there's a lot of videos online that I see and I just get super mad and I wish that would happen to me, so I would be absolutely justified in punching somebody. But it never happens to me, right? So it just like, guess I'm not a woman, so shit like this. So dudes don't fucking, you know, dudes don't like try to, you know, it's like people are pussies, right? I wouldn't talk shit to like a fucking 7 feet tall fucking mountain dude, right? Into your house for that? I do, you know. Sometimes I even talk shit to people. Still don't do anything. Anyway, this guy, and also reason I hate these videos because I don't want to like shit on, but the arguments from Ukrainians in videos like that are also not very like good. Like it's like people don't know how to like answer these things, so it kind of like looks cringe as well. So I don't like watching these videos. But this Pisak was saying something like Ukrainian troops deserve it, or whatever the fuck. Anyway, the police investigates him now in Turkey. Apparently, he was removed from the hotel in Turkey as well. Not everyone is a debate, bro. I mean, bro, if there's such a situation in your country, and it's such a like military and political thing, you have to know. You have to know the facts of the matter, and you would need to articulate your positions very clearly, because that's kind of like then shit like this happens, and it's like I think you have to know. I think it's like your civilian duty. I tried to debate 3 feminists. Guys, listen to me right now. I tried to debate 3 feminists today about abortion, right? And I tried to, in real life, right? And I tried to, I watched that debate Destiny had about abortion, and I wanted to know what they think, right? And I tried to steelman the position of anti-abortion people. And I tried so hard, it was complete failure, dude. They just didn't give a fuck. Their answer was like, whatever is the medical thing that allows you to, like, I'm like trying to ask them like, okay, how many months you're saying is like abortion should be? And they're saying like whatever is safe for the mother. And I'm like, what if it's like 9 months it's safe for the mother? And it's like, are they doing 9 months abortion? I'm like saying, let's say they do. Would you be okay with that? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, they just own these positions so easily. And I don't even know what to say, because I'm not against it either. I fucking hate kids. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's like some woman wants to fucking get rid of their fucking fetus. I don't give a fuck, right? It's like, what if it's like already a baby and it's like it can live outside the mother, which is not outside? And she's like, well, I don't give a fuck. It's like, if you can do it and it's like permitted by law, and it's like, what? I'm like, but what is your moral position? And they're like, I don't really care. It's like, if it's safe, then and I couldn't do it. Like, I just didn't have any good arguments. And I was like, okay, I guess it's over. Like, the debate is over, bro. It's like, yeah, I guess. Okay. Like, I don't know. I tried to say like, but why, you don't care about the baby? What if it's like, okay, do you care about babies that are born? It's like, yeah, you shouldn't, you know. I'm like, well then, what is the difference between like, what if the baby goes through the canal, it becomes like something you care about all of a sudden? Like, no, but I'm not arguing for like. She says, I'm not arguing for 9 months abortions. I don't think they actually do them, right? But I don't know. Do they do them? Like, I don't think they do them, right? What is the latest you can get an abortion? Because you're a woman and you don't understand? What do you mean I don't understand? I'm not against abortions. It's worse for Ukraine, says Ukraine is going to need to repopulate. Trust me, there's plenty of women that are giving birth in Ukraine. Latest abortion date. No, not date, but allowed. Each state, so it's very different. Google search said around 24 weeks. 24 weeks. How many months is that? 24 weeks. That's like a lot of months. 4 weeks is like 1 month. So it's like 6 months. Damn, bruh. Okay. 6 months out of 9. Yeah, that's pretty like. Summary. What does it say? Permitted. Oh, when risk to life. On request. On request is much. Risk to health way later. Okay, that's interesting. "24 weeks is the latest." What? This is so stupid. Some of it is weeks, some of it is months, and some of it is days. Who fucking made this fucking table? Cringe. 32 in Montenegro. Oh my god. I'm losing it. No, it says on request, you dumbass. It's on request, that's what we care about. You fucking dummy. We care about on request, not when it's risk to life. There's no limit on risk to life. No limit. My son wants to kill me. Can you abort him? Yep. No limit though. Oh, there's Ukraine there too. 12 weeks. Damn, that's not progressive enough, dude. Yo, when it's up to 22 weeks when it's like risk to health even? Holy shit, risk to life only after... Dude, that's crazy. If there's a risk to your life and it's like after 22 weeks you're fucked. Go die then. Damn, dude, that's rough. That's rough. I mean, these laws are probably gonna get even worse. Yeah, when the countries are preoccupied with like... I just don't know if having more lenient abortion law is actually negatively impacting the population. Like, is there let me ask ChatGPT again. Fucking, I'm too lazy to fucking Google this shit. Okay, so we're gonna ask, so I wonder, are there any studies that say that abortion is negatively impacting whatever, he will understand, impacting the population growth? Like, I mean, technically speaking, abortions would negatively impact population growth. They wouldn't necessarily increase the number of children having families, right? The direct impact of abortion population growth is clear in theory, right? That's what I thought. When a pregnancy is terminated, that's one less potential individual added to population. However, the real-world implications are not so straightforward. Access to and quality of family planning services. In places where people have easy access to quality contraception and family planning information, abortion rates tend to be lower. So in these areas, abortion might not have as much of an impact on population growth. I mean, that's actually really true. Like, if people protect themselves from getting pregnant, you don't do abortion, but you also not having a kid. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, preventing the pregnancy is different than abortion, but it leads to the same result. No baby, right? So basically, that's a really good that's a really good argument, by the way. So use a condom, you fool. Yeah, but we're not talking about like we're not talking about that. We're talking about if abortion negatively impacts the population growth, right? But if the person doesn't want a kid, they would just probably use protection. So that's still one less of a person, like, right? Okay, that makes sense. I'm not American, but I've heard about that. Apparently, affirmative action is you have more chances to enroll in college if you're from if you're a minority. Not necessarily that you're black, it's just if you're a minority, because they're trying to, the colleges try to create like a diverse environment, right? So I've heard an argument. It's a really interesting argument. The thing is about affirmative action, it kind of makes sense in theory, because you are discriminating against certain groups when you're groups of people, when you're enrolling them, when you're deciding if to enroll them in college, right? Like, you could say, oh, we have a lot of dudes in the college, or we have a lot of girls in the college, and we want it to be a little bit more split, like down the middle, so we would give preference to the guys this enrollment season, right? So that's first thing. Oh, it's not, I don't think it's about like success or victims. I don't think that's what affirmative action is. And then it could be, oh, we have, this guy is a musician. He doesn't have as good grades, but he's a musician, right? That is also interesting. Like, they could be like, oh, okay, right? So it makes sense. But then again, apparently there wasn't enough, like, the information that came out of affirmative action doesn't actually provide proof that it was any beneficial to anyone, really. Like, the idea in theory didn't work out in the end, because people who have lower grades and get into better colleges still might not want to study, and they just drop out or some shit. So there's like a lot of fuckery thing going on. But guys, you're saying shit like you can't fight discrimination with discrimination. It's just fucking, like, it's a nice thing to say, but you gotta look at the facts, okay? You gotta look at studies, and you gotta look at like real consequences. You can say stuff like that, but it doesn't mean anything. You gotta know what exactly it led to, and why is it good or bad. Like, it could be good. Like, technically speaking, let's just talk about this, right? Shut the fuck up, Rob. I don't want to, like, fucking discuss with you some fucking virtue signal woke, some bullshit like that. You have an argument, say an argument. Don't try to fucking like give me any general fucking bullshit. I don't fucking engage with that. So here's an argument, right? What if they did what if affirmative action actually produced better outcomes for society? Would you be in favor of that? Like, let's say we have proof, concrete proof, studies with numbers and everything, just a hypothetical, right? And it clearly shows that affirmative action helps a more diverse population to get various degrees in various universities, and it leads to better outcomes because these people, you know, in different communities, like, engage in different ways, and then they support everyone all around equally and whatever. So, would you support affirmative action then? Just curious. I'm not asking if it's a scam, you fucking 5 IQ idiot. Again, another fucking 0 IQ dumbass. I'm not asking you if it's equal or what. I'm asking you if it produces better outcomes. It's not a scam, and it's a hypothetical. Hypothetically. Little boy, bro, I would fucking beat your ass, and I would put my... Okay. I would discredit you physically, buddy, okay? Shut the fuck up. Jody. What a dumbass fucking name. I'm saying that it's a hypothetical. Hypothetically speaking, do you know the meaning of that word? You could probably bench press my Zelensky loving ass. Bro, I would fucking destroy you. The fuck are you talking about, you fucking twink pussy ass fucking fuckboy, bro? I would turn you into my fucking bitch. Anyway. You did 5 years for what? 5 years for like stealing some fucking trash during a riot, you fucking degen pussy ass bitch, bro. I would knock you the fuck out, bro. Look at him getting angry. I have man boobs and you would suck on them like a little baby. I would turn you into my fucking little baby bitch. Oh my god, you pathetic loser fucking scumfuck. You can't even engage in a hypothetical, bro. No wonder you fucking went to prison, you fucking 0 IQ dipshit. I bet you didn't even go to school. You fucking disgrace on your society. You're pathetic. Fucking leech. The country is literally worse because you is in there. How do you feel about that? That your negative impact on society? Pathetic. I don't care about society, all I care about is money. Bro, you're not even subscribed. You went to prison, bro. You can care about the money, but money doesn't care about you. You're fucking bum-ass fucker, dude. Which side does the streamer support? The winning side. The strong side. The side that is based as fuck. Anyway, whatever. We fling some shit at each other. It doesn't matter. I'm asking you a serious question. You brought this up. I'm saying about the I'm talking about the hypothetical situation, okay? Hypothetically speaking, let's say affirmative action is producing better outcomes for society. Would you be in favor of that? No? Why not? What if there's some university? Let's call it. Let's say. While you're answering that question, what if there's a university where there's a lot of minorities but not enough white people, and affirmative action allows for that university to give preference to white people to kind of like balance it out? You also don't care about that. You would rather keep that university only minorities. Why? Just asking you. No, it's not. I'm giving you a hypothetical, right? But also, you're saying minorities, but in that university, white people could be a minority, right? It's about the score, not about what race. Okay, fine. But then again, what about the example if the university is enrolling people and they see a person with a higher score and a lower score, but the person in the lower score is an athlete, and they want the athlete? Isn't that discrimination technically? He's a Hassan viewer. I would imagine Hassan would be in favor of affirmative action. He's a populist. Is Hassan Arab? Yeah, I would imagine Hassan loves it. Wasn't Hassan born in, like, America? He's Turkish? Well, he says he's Turkish, but where he was born? Was he born in Turkey? Syria? He was born in Turkey? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Cause fucking Slicker on Destiny's stream today said that he was started talking about Iraq, an invasion of Iraq, saying that he's Iraqi, and then Destiny asked where he was born, and he said UK. That was so funny, dude. That was the funniest shit, dude. Wait, he was born in USA. Oh, lived in Turkey until 18. Oh, well, okay. I guess that could count, but still, born in USA. I don't know. Maybe ChatGPT would know where he's from. Well, I mean, we can just Google it, but okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway, affirmative action is apparently gone from America, so I guess we don't have to talk about it. But it's just kind of interesting. Like, I am personally for better outcomes in society, as long as it's like not something drastic, right? As long as there's no like fucking race cleansing or like fucking what is it called when you're when it's like if babies But do you think being a pro football player helps society? It could. Like, I could imagine in ways where it could, right? Like, sports is a part of society, right? Society does engage with sports, with football and stuff like that. I'm not muted. Shut the fuck up. I see my fucking sound levels. Yeah, entertainment is important part of society. It's like what we engage with most of the time. So I mean, like, I'm not saying like it's more important. I'm not saying it's like more important than like a doctor, right? For example. But then again, it's like every person has a place in the country, right? Some people are artists, some people are physicists, right? You can still have a piece of shit doctor that does harm because he's a fucking moron, and there could be like great athletes that donate money to fucking charities and shit, right? But the nation of America was formed by white immigrants with Christianity as a belief. Why does it matter? We should only care about what's better for society. You shouldn't care about what's better for white people, white Christians. You can be white Christian, but you would want to live in a country that is strong and that is powerful and that is like works towards better things in life. Look at Russia, for example. I love giving Russia as an example because they are ethnically cleansing, and they are trying their best to like promote the white people values and fucking Christianity or some shit. Look at its fucking country. It's fucking degen. It's fucking shit. People are poor as fuck and they're fucking morons, dude. Like, why would you want to live in a country like that? It's obviously doesn't produce better outcomes. I think that's what, if you're an actual intellectual, you don't like Ukraine. Why do you like Ukraine? I mean, I understand why you wouldn't like Russia, but why wouldn't you like Ukraine? The fuck? Ukraine is anti-Semites? That's not true. Where did you hear that? I believe that over-prioritizing minority groups is dangerous. I'm not gonna argue against that. Protecting minorities is not dangerous. Over-prioritizing? I don't know what you mean by that, but like... Yeah, how Ukraine is anti-Semite? We don't need any religions 2023. Belief systems are the wrong way. Any belief systems are the wrong way, but I think that getting rid of churches is not going to solve that. People will just find some another dipshit. Ukraine is well known for neo-Nazi groups. I'm sorry, buddy, but it seems like you got into a Russian propaganda trap thinking that Ukraine is neo-Nazis. It's not true. You're saying you don't like Russia, but why do you believe what they say? It's like weird. They build strong morals. What, like system of beliefs? I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's true. Well, he doesn't know I'm Ukrainian. I'm just telling him. I'm not trying to flail my nationality over here. So one dude in power is Jewish. Our prime minister is also Jewish. So at least two guys. The highest positions in the country. Now explain to me how Zelensky was put in power and don't lie to me. I'm Ukrainian. I literally went. I'm telling you, bro, let me do a full screen so you would truly understand. I went to an election and I voted for him. I did personally. And all of my friends did as well. Like, I actually did. Unique opportunity you're getting right now to hear from a Ukrainian the real truth how Zelensky came to power. I voted for him. I'm also Russia the best, Ukraine lose. What about 3,000 mercenaries strolling through Russia and Russian military, almost going to Moscow, 200 kilometers away, and putting as a scared little bitch, leaving Moscow and Kremlin to hide somewhere like a little fucking pussy cunt. And you're saying Zelensky is a clown, the guy who goes to front lines and gives medals to fucking fighters personally? Bro, you're a fucking clown. Banned, degen. So why were the Americans were crying that the oligarchs pushed him into power? I don't know where you're getting that information from. And now all of a sudden he's a god. Zelensky is a god because when Ukraine was attacked by Russia, a way bigger country, Zelensky said, I don't give a fuck. I'm not leaving Kiev. I'm not leaving Ukraine. I'm not leaving my people. I need ammo. That's why he's a god. He's a fucking based, the best fucking leader. There's less than 5 people that I can count on my hand that will do that for their country. Do you agree that Russia is worried about NATO and its borders? No, I don't agree with that because Finland joined NATO and Russia didn't even talk about it. Obviously, they don't care. Why are you being so obtuse? Interesting picture. You know what I see there? An anti-Semite. Said no one ever? Dude, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Okay. Anyway. Okay, so we were on abortion. That was interesting, right? So the first thing that ChatGPT says is a very interesting point. In places where people have easy access to quality contraception and family planning information, abortion rates tend to be lower. So in these areas, abortion might not have as much of an impact on population growth. So this is an argument that I've heard before, where you say it's like abortion. You'll find what? What are you looking for? Saying that abortion is bad for the population, right? Which is not really the case, and this like very easy to understand logical conclusion kind of proves that. Like, people who don't want children, they will not want children, right? They will just use other ways of contraception, have sex, not have children. Abortion rate in Netherlands is number 132 in the world, but has most relaxed laws in the world. It's probably because contraception has been very easy to come by there. Okay, the next point, social, economic, and health factors. These factors can also influence both abortion rates and population growth. For example, in areas with high poverty, lack of healthcare, and other social challenges, both abortion rates and population growth can be higher. So if you want a lot of people in your country, you gotta make them less educated and less financially stable. Right. Policies and legislation, that's true. The legality and availability of abortion, or I mean, you can incentivize having kids in other ways, of course, but the legality and availability of abortion can also impact its rate. Countries where abortion is illegal or highly restricted might have lower official rates of abortion, though not necessarily lower actual rates, but also potentially higher rates of population growth. Abortion in Cuba is insane. In what way? Therefore, while there may be a theoretical link between abortion and population growth, actual relationships can be complex. Okay, so they're saying that if there's a correlation between abortions and population growth, it does not mean that the population growth is attributed to the lack of abortion. Борщі мені почулись. Борщів немає зараз. It can also mean that the population generally the country that has more strict abortion laws is also a shittier country with more poorer population, and therefore they may have kids more because they have nothing better to do. That makes sense. Abortion. True. Makes sense. Makes sense to me. Anyone here who doesn't understand any of that? Okay, in the French town Montargis, the building collapsed after it was. Can you repeat that theory? Well, I was just interested if abortion is negatively impacting population growth, and it seems like it's not that clear cut. Like, it could in theory, but in fact, factually, there's no like strong link between that. There's other things that influence population growth way more than abortion, right? So like, why am I interested in that? Because if people are saying that abortion is bad because you need to bring up your population more because low population, weak country or some shit, right? Then you can give that argument. Yeah. I don't care about that. I understand what you're saying, but that's not what I was interested in. What is negative about less people? Well, technically, like from the national perspective, you would want more people in your country to have stronger impact in the world and being a stronger country and stuff like that, right? Like, look at India and China. Like, despite them having like lower social economical status than people in Western countries, for example, like if India would invade some country, they would fucking decimate it completely. Or like nobody would think about invading those countries either, just because the fucking populations are insane. Like, not even taking into account anything else. Just mowing down through 2 billion people in each fucking country. That's impossible, bro. So that's kind of the argument, right? All right, building collapsing. I'm not against it. Why you writing these tirades to me? I'm not against abortion. I fucking hate kids. They can abort them. I don't give a fuck if you abort them up to 9 months. I don't care. Why are you trying, like, as if you're trying to prove something to me? I'm giga abortion supporter, okay? I don't care. I'm a baby killer, dude. Well, I'm not, I mean. But I don't care. I just don't care, okay? I'm not a woman. I don't care about birth. You're just explaining why abortions are good. I know they're good. I hate kids. They're good. So you don't have to convince me. I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding, right? I support abortion. I support abortions because not because they give more freedoms to women, but because I hate kids. We're not the same, Hammer. Bro, I flush down millions of children down the toilet every fucking day, dude. Maybe even twice a day. Why don't I like kids? Bro, do you like kids? Henry YY14? You like children? Are you serious? Hey, guys. Henry YY14 likes kids. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You know that's illegal, right? Holy fucking shit. Actual, like, what the fuck? Bro, what a weird question. Why don't I like kids? Why would anyone like them? They're fucking nasty. They're nasty, they're loud. Mostly because they're loud. But also they're fucking dumb as fuck, dude. Like, I know they are. I know that's, like, what makes it a kid. And it's like, oh, Dobson, weren't you like that? Like, yeah, everyone was, obviously. It doesn't mean I have to like them. I just don't like them. Bro, I see these parents when it's like some kid is like, mommy, 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 mommy. Like, okay, what? Look what I found. And it's like a piece of shit that he picked up from the fucking pavement. It's like, okay, good one. Can I keep it? Like, no, it's a piece of shit. I want to keep it. Like, fuck off, bro. Like, why would you even subject yourself to that? You know? All those adjectives don't apply to your kids. Well, I don't have a kid, okay? And I don't want to have a kid. Have a piece of shit at home. Piece of shit at home. Kids can be fun, but I live next to a school. Bro, what the fuck are these people saying? What is happening? Exposed? Why a lot of people want to have them? Because people are uneducated and they don't know what to do with their life. And they're like, I guess I'll have a kid. Especially women who don't want to pursue any career, who don't want to do anything interesting in their life. They're like, I'm 22. I want to have kids because I don't want to work. I don't want to do fucking shit. I just want to have a child and be a stay-at-home mom. Boom. Fucking came into her pussy. She popped the fucking thing in 9 months. And children are work, sure. Well, so some people definitely skip on that, you know? So they're like, listen, I'm a dumb hoe. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm gonna make a kid, dude. I'm telling you. And 9 times out of 10, that's what people do when they're like young, okay? When they're like not very young, it's like, okay, I established a career. I have this and that. I guess I can start making a family because I'm in a safe environment and stuff like that. Every kid is a free lada, only in Russia though. And you have to wait 18 years for the investment? I'm like, fuck shit, and that's no way, you know? Yeah, but there's some types of people who are like, okay, I have established career, I have money, I have safety nets, and I can start a family in a very responsible manner. Now, those people take care of their children, they teach them, they take them to good school, and those people grow to be very good members of the society, very productive people, and achieve good things, you know? Or just die from drugs at like 18 or 19. It's either one or the other, you know? But it's like, whatever. Anyway, what is this now? What am I looking at? Oh, shit, right. In Colombia, during a training flight, 2 military jets collided. Both dudes catapulted, but one dude died. That sucks. Yeah, both dudes ejected, but one guy died. Mario Andres Espinosa Gonzalez died. Okay, in the past 24 hours, we destroyed 8 Shaheeds and 3 Caliber missiles. 8 out of 8, 3 out of 3. Nice. The mayor of the French city, L'Île-les-Roses, Vincent Jeanbrun, said that the rioters attacked the politician's house in order to harm his family. The mayor's wife and child were injured. His car burned down. He himself was at work at City Hall at the time of the attack. In Russia, the accelerated liquidation of PMC Wanker began. The Ministry of Murder of Russian Federation terminated the contract with Prigozhin's Concord company to provide the army with food. In St. Petersburg, a sign was dismantled from the building of PMC Wanker Center. The propagandists began to massively merge the Wankerites and multiply by 0 all their exploits. In Uganda, a transport plane was noticed which allegedly takes away fighters given to the temporary disposal of the Wagnerites. Lukashenko said he was not going to pay Wanker. On Russian television, they began to declare that PMC Wanker received 858 billion rubles under state contracts, and Prigozhin Concord provided services for 845 billion rubles. Why weren't they talking about those numbers while that was happening? Almost 2 trillion rubles given to them, bro, from state funds. Russians funding Putin's friends. And Russians gonna be like, oh, that's bad. Putin is good that he took care of that. Dude. Please tell us, how did you survive your death that was that Russians discussed?
Нормально.
Yeah, I was good.
Нормально.
It was normal. Why do you think they're spreading that?
Де можна Да, де можна знайти
Where can you
логіку?
find
Немає логіки в діянні
logic?
алкоголю.
There's no logic in the
Є
alcoholics.
такий вислів, а тут ще
You
й
know,
наркотики.
there's a saying like that, and they're also they're also doing crack. So what can I
Що ми
say?
кладемо?
True. Ukrainian troops found Russian trophies in the Russian trenches.
Ебать, просто чим підари воюють, нахуй.
Look at what these fuckers are fighting with.
Хімік, нахуй.
Mosin.
Що скажеш?
What can you say? Look at that trophy, dude. Look, we
Он
have
трофей,
some else.
ніхуя,
Look at that.
десяташка.
Yeah, that's nice.
Це
Look at this.
залупа.
It's a rusty AK. Mosin is fucking strong, dude. Holy shit.
Що за ебать, це пизда.
That's fucked, bro.
Давай, блядь, повзи быстрее.
Oh,
нахуй.
that's a Russian orc, but I still can't show that.
Ah.
He says, "Crawl faster, dumbass fucker." Museum of Russian Occupation, right? Australia is the first in the world to allow the use of ecstasy for treatment, says BBC, that's a different thing. Clinical treatment of MDMA ecstasy for post-traumatic stress disorder and psychedelics for treatment-resistant depression are now completely legal in the country. Nice. Fucking nice, matey. Fucking 20 a.m. in the fucking morning. Fucking ecstasy, bruv. Eight British planes from the Second World War dug up near Kiev, says BBC. They were sent to the then USSR by Britain in the US Lend-Lease aid package. This is the first time that the remains of such a number of Hawker Hurricane have been found in Ukraine. Eight, that's crazy. Poland is deploying 500 police officers to the border with Belarus. In addition to 2,000 military and 5,000 border guards, head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Poland. Are they sure Russia wasn't using it in this war? Yeah, maybe. Not yet, okay? Poland has information that about 8,000 wanker fighters can be accommodated in Belarus. And they could be stationed at the border, aggressively wanking towards the border of Poland. Fighters earlier, the Poles had already built a wall on the border with Bulboland. Przepraszam. We have to build the wall. All right. Zelensky arrived in Odessa. Report of the commander of the naval forces of the armed forces of Ukraine, Alexei Nezhpapa. Many important topic. What a weird last name, dude. Operational situation in the Black Sea, defensive capabilities of the Navy. Фамилия у него просто, блядь, извращенная. Insightful. This is kind of cool. In Lviv, a school is being built with the help of a 3D printer. This is the first time in Europe that's being done. For a school, I would assume. This video shows the process of building a new building with an area of 500 square meters. This is 10 times faster than conventional construction. This thanks to such technologies that will rebuild post-war Ukraine. In a sense. Hey, 3D printer in the house. Hey, building school. Hey, with concrete. Hey, we're building school with concrete right now. Hey. What is this song, bro? Like, what the fuck? This is a cool guy. He replied to my emails. This is our Minister of Digital Transformation. I mean, the fucking thing can work day and night, right? 24/7. It's 20% cheaper than regular building and 10 times quicker. Structural integrity might be questionable. Bro, really? Do you think? You think they did like, oh, we're gonna make a 3D printer that builds shit fucking things that don't hold up? Like, really? No steel reinforcement? Why do you think that? There's a little like fucking steel right there. There's some things in between. Is it really that crazy to think? There's some things in between the walls, right? If there's a Wagner-induced skirmish on the Polish border, would NATO call it an attack by Russia on NATO? They could. Because Russia right now said that they took control of Wanker. Officially, they claimed that. So... Tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, a large offensive operation of Ukraine will begin, says Serbian President Vučić. According to him, the armed forces of Ukraine will try to develop a counteroffensive and break through the defenses of the Russian Federation in order to show the result by the NATO summit in Vilnius on July 11th to 12th. Maybe. Bro, you linking me... Dude, I'm sorry. You linking me Candy's Nuts Fit in Your Mouth Owen's podcast as a source? Why is Vučić saying that? I don't know. I don't believe that. Okay, I will indulge you, okay? Starts at 4 minutes. This is a good one, guys.
Time because...
Wow, let's fucking hear it, dude. Argue this, please. Starts at 4 minutes. Why didn't you just link a fucking 4-minute timestamp? Okay. Damn.
Together in lockstep and seem to be getting a phone call almost from the CIA. It's like, hey, just say that Trump's a monster and go with that headline. That's what it feels like. It feels like Operation...
That's what it feels like? What is she saying? You said it starts at 4 minutes, or...
Mockingbird. Which brings me to the next person that I want to talk about, which is President Zelensky. I have been vocal since the very beginning about the fact that he is a dirtbag. I can't make my...
Okay, she says she's vocal about the fact that he's a dirtbag. Whereas she says that it's a fact.
To be feels like potentially.
She says that's a fact. Does she provide any source for that fact?
Any clearer on that? That is the truth. President Zelensky is a dirtbag.
She says that is the truth. Okay.
Just when they'd abandoned the COVID narrative, just when they told you to forget about Afghanistan and us drawing out of Afghanistan.
What does that have anything to do with Ukraine right now?
Afghanistan in a very sloppy manner. They told you that suddenly you needed to trade in your BLM flags for Ukrainian flags. And President Zelensky became a hero.
Oh, bro, while I still remember this, I saw a fantastic TikTok about the BLM and LGBT flags today. This was so funny. You want to hear this? Argue this.
Right now, because I haven't seen near as many rainbow flags and rubbish as we've seen last year.
They're making the kids wear these flags and these hats. Yes. Right? And it's like, don't make the kids wear these flags and these hats and make it their entire personality.
Absolutely.
They make it their whole identity. They've got the shirts, they've got the flags, they got the hats, they got the shirts. It's like it's their whole personality. You got these people with these flags, they're waving it.
So just a quick side note. She says that they make you trade the BLM flags to Ukrainian flags. Why doesn't she say that they make you trade the flags to Trump flags? It's the same fucking point, right?
it in our faces.
Right. I don't care if you're gay.
Just don't wave this flag in my face. These flags everywhere that they wave around in everyone's face. It's become their entire personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have these people with their flags and their hats that they wave around in everyone's faces, and it's become their entire personality.
I live in a place where everybody is gay. I could say that.
You can't say gay, it's Florida.
Oh. No, that's only at Disney.
You should have seen how it looked me trying to just get on a flight to get down here with a MAGA hat on. They treated me like I was Osama bin Laden.
It's become harder to be open about your identity nowadays. Right?
Yeah, people just need to speak up. They need to say what they believe in.
So this is like the other side of it. That's fucking funny. I didn't see this.
Straight male as well.
You're a straight white male.
And I'm proud of, and I'm
He's literally arguing against himself. This is
proud of that.
You should see my truck. I can't see out my back window because I got so many bumper stickers. Just on a Saturday or Sunday, I got nothing to do. I put my flags out and I ride through town to remind everybody.
I can't wear a MAGA hat in some places because, some people don't like that.
Bro, do you understand how these people are like so similar? Why are they even fighting, bro?
Identity.
They both want to show flags and to tell everyone about their identity.
Can you imagine like going someplace and being attacked just for your identity?
That's crazy.
I'm happy.
That's crazy. Bro, dude. Okay, back to this fucking degen bitch.
Overnight in the media, the same media, just a few short years prior, had told us that he is attached to oligarchs. We understand that Ukraine has been...
What media? What media? She says very general things. Now, I know you're a fucking retard, so I don't really appeal to your intelligence to understand any of my points. But to everyone else, when people talk in generalities and they lack any specifics, they're full of shit, right? She says, everyone knows Zelensky, the dirtbag, it's a fact. Like, where did you get that from? You just present that information as a fucking fact, and it's like, doesn't, the second thing she says, these are the same media that they were saying he was connected to oligarchs. There was a very big disinformation campaign that was run by Poroshenko, the former president, and by Russia as well, that Zelensky is somehow corrupt and is connected to oligarchs. And obviously they would do that because they didn't want Zelensky, because Zelensky went against Putin, and Poroshenko wanted to just fucking find some dirt. By the way, Poroshenko was the one that started that meme about Zelensky doing cocaine or some shit. And Russia also took that and started spinning as propaganda. Zelensky is not connected to any oligarchs. The reason they started that story, and I know exactly what they're talking about, is because Zelensky, when he had TV shows and when he was doing like comedy, because he's a comedian, he was working for a channel that was owned by Kolomoisky, who is an oligarch. But bro, in Ukraine, back in the day, you couldn't find a channel that was not owned by oligarch. It's like a lose-lose situation.
A laundromat. We understand that he quite literally used to be an actor, and he was funded by a man named Igor Kolomoisky, who is...
Dude, I'm telling you, he was not funded. He worked on his channel, but he had his own show. You have no idea how that happens. You have no idea how that happens. Like, I'm telling you right now. First of all, you couldn't find a channel that pretty much wasn't owned by an oligarch back in the day, right? It's way better now, but that's the first thing. And the second thing, when you're working with a channel, and I know this because my mom was in the news. She was in the news and she was working with the news, so I know all about it, right? You have like a show that you kind of like sell to the channel, whoever's willing to purchase it, and the channel kind of pays you money, so you would like continue doing the show and they getting the views. You could have a show on some scumbag fucking channel, but your show is not political and has nothing to do with politics and is not pushing any like propaganda about oligarchs or anything like that. So So this doesn't prove anything.
Is an oligarch.
Is this argument like make sense to you?
He funded him into power, Zelensky into power.
That's not true. There's absolutely no proof she has for that statement.
And he has been doing the bidding of the West for a long time. Yeah.
And Zelensky, what does that mean? Zelensky been doing the bidding of the West. Zelensky, it's the West doing Zelensky's bidding now.
Has ties via Igor Kolomoisky to Hunter Biden. Okay. He is just not a good character.
Just saying that when Zelensky was working at the Kolomoisky's channel, Hunter Biden, they weren't even in the fucking politics, okay?
Sure. But
or like it wasn't even anywhere in the. So like, how is that connected? It's like just because I saw Arestovich in real life and I shook his hand, and Arestovich shook the hand of Zelensky, and Zelensky shook the head of Kolomoisky. Am I connected to Kolomoisky now? Like, or like Arestovich becomes like I shook the hand of Arestovich, and then in 10 years he becomes like president of Ukraine, and he's gonna invade Russia and do mass Russian genocide. Am I like Am I like genocide supporter because I shook his hand 10 years ago? Like, the fuck are you talking about? I mean, that would be pretty base, but yeah.
But the media basically said, here's the thing.
Here's the thing. This bitch just says shit out loud, and she has no sources for anything that she's saying. She's making these weird connections where there's none, and just presents information for your dumbass to think that there's like somehow like makes Zelensky a bad person. Like, in what way Zelensky is a bad person? What is bad that he's doing? Can you look at the facts? Why are you listening to some dumbass fucking whore?
Either get on Team Zelensky, or we are going to smear you as a pro-Putin puppet. And I didn't take that bait because I don't care. Why would I care? It's so untrue. Candace, it must be...
What do you mean it's not true? You're literally fucking throwing mud at Zelensky for no reason. Just because this chick is just anti-government. And whoever is the friend of the government, she's going to be against them. Like, technically, she's not in favor of Russia in this statement. I don't know anything about this fucking dumbass. But that doesn't help Ukraine smearing the president. Do you think she believes what she says? I don't know. Do women believe what they say all the time? Do men? Well, no. We all know
accepting
the answer to that.
Funds from Putin. That's actually what they were trying.
Anyway, I can't listen to this shit. Did I address your questions? Okay, a time lapse of a 3D printed house. No music? She was pro-government when it was Trump? Oh, so she's pro-Trump just... Bro, you're unironically stupid. I literally addressed every fucking claim she had. She didn't provide any fucking sources for any of her claims. You completely disregard that, and you're saying that facts don't care about my feelings. Like, the fuck are you talking about? You're like unironically brain dead. I cannot convince you otherwise. You're just a lost human being. You're just gonna fucking overdose on lard, I'm sure, so I don't give a fuck. You have like 5 years to live anyway. You're inconsequential. Banned. I like the way it looks too. It's like very modern. You know what the funny thing is? Facts don't care about the feelings, and we all know the facts on whose side and the feelings on whose side, right? Like, it doesn't matter. That was cool. I like that. That was cool. The enemy will definitely not dictate conditions in the Black Sea and will be afraid to approach the Ukrainian Crimea, says Zelensky. Today in Odessa, first of all, to congratulate our Navy soldiers on their professional day, new areas of use of maritime drones were discussed. Nice.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Сьогодні в Одесі.
Just what a base dude just goes somewhere, fucking films a fucking video on his iPhone, just gives an update to the whole fucking country. Any fucking president does this? What a fucking cool ass fucking dude. Erdogan did it. He did it, or he was doing it. Because Zelensky not only did it, he's doing it all the time. I love that. I think that's really cool. A huge funnel 200 meters from the military airfield appeared in the Primorsko-Arkhansk Krasnodar region of the Russian Federation. The funnel is 10 meters in diameter and about 4 meters deep. The nearest AFU positions are at least 250 kilometers away. Pisak's right that supposedly their valiant air defense shot down a rocket. Is this Storm Shadow? This looks like a Storm Shadow. Jesus. Let's go, dude. It will be hot in Crimea. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine published an intriguing video. Uh-oh. The Russian information space is reaching disproportionately to the Russian military failure to drive a small Ukrainian force from the east bank of Kherson Oblast. Russian mill bloggers have complained for nearly 2 weeks that Russian forces have failed to push a very small Ukrainian force, reportedly of up to 70 personnel, from their entrenched positions underneath the eastern span of the Antonovsky Bridge. The mill bloggers complained that the Russian military command blindly ordered Russian forces to retake the area, resulting in significant losses among Russian personnel and armored vehicles due to Ukrainian artillery fire and remotely laid mines. The severe mill blogger response to the Russian military command decision-making demonstrates that Russian mill bloggers have not rallied around the Russian military command in the aftermath of Wanker armed rebellion. Interesting. That's a cool ass video. The armed forces of Ukraine are advancing with heavy fighting in the Berdyansk and Melitopol directions, says Malyar. In the Bakhmut direction, the armed forces are moving on the southern flank with partial success. The enemy is advancing in the Svativ direction. Fierce battles are taking place there. The enemy is attacking Bilohirivka, Serebrenka. The situation is quite complicated. Pisaks are also advancing in the Avdiiv and Marian and Liman areas. Everywhere is hot now. In Ukraine, the second highest price in Europe on the spot electricity market. Damn. Well, we supply our electricity mostly. We cover our usage. But we sometimes buy it right now because, yeah, we have some issues in the country. You know, some issues in the country, but... Mass riots reached Switzerland. In Lausanne, looters smashed the windows of several shops and threw stones at the police. In total, there were about 100 rioters. 7 of the most active were detained. Oh yeah, there was a moment where there was Chinese tourists that left France to Switzerland instead to to have, it says Chinese tourists that left to Switzerland be like, they threw a box, how dare they?
Viennent, ils reviennent en force, tous cagoulés, ça jette des trucs, ça jette des trucs, ça jette des trucs.
Wait, is this France though?
Ouais, il arrive, il arrive.
In Bucha, a monument was opened in memory of the victims of Russian occupation of the city. The names of the people. I like it. I like the front. I don't like the... I don't know what these boxes are, but... Occupants stopped in Oleshki.
Mute.
Oh, I'm muted? When did you lose me? Holy shit, did I click like the wrong button or something? So, volunteers from Buryatia announced a crowdfund for a cow for Russian soldiers. The meat from the cow is going to be made into lunches for Russian soldiers. When censoring? Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I have no idea what this is.
І вам гарного дня. Ну як, ми маємо бажання допомагати Україні і українському народу в боротьбі за суверенітет. Я перепрошую ще раз.
Ні, я Україну люблю, я більше Росію.
Росію більше любите? А.
The situation for humanitarian in Kherson. This woman says, "Why are you helping us?" He says, "Because we help all Ukrainians to go through." It's like, "Oh, I don't like Ukraine. I like Russia more." Bro, fucking knock her out, and take that fucking water, and she can go fucking to Russia and ask for it. Legion fucking bitch. So, the destruction of Iranian drones over Kiev. Last night. Oh, that's it? Oh. I thought it was like an official video posted or something, but... a Russian propagandist says, Ministry of Defense says, in Kherson direction, we completed... Ministry of Defense of Russia says, right? In Kherson direction, we completed the destruction of AFU battalions that entered in the region that crossed the region of Antonovsky Bridge, right? The next post. Some bad person is lying to the Department of Defense and is giving wrongful information. Guys tell me from the places that there's a heavy fighting going on near the Antonov Bridge. It must have some in the chain of the information to Moscow. It was something wrong. The fucking cope, bro. They can't possibly lie to us. Somebody gave them wrong information. This is a sad thing. A man with a German Shepherd walked 200 kilometers from Kherson to Odessa because he was not allowed into the evacuation bus with a dog without a muzzle. So, the entire family of the Kherson citizen died as a result of Russian shelling. The dog remained the only native creature for him. Listen, it's a sad story, but why didn't they just walk in Mykolaiv and then just got on a bus and went to... Why didn't they get a muzzle for a dog? Just questions. Just a lot of questions. But it's sad that stuff like this happens. Okay. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki of Poland has published footage of the riots in France, accompanied by footage of a quiet life in Poland. The phrase at the end of the video reads, "We don't want such scenes in Polish streets. Our plan is Europe of secure borders, security and public order are the values from which everything else begins," Morawiecki wrote. It's worth noting that even the grandmother of the shot teenager condemned the riots. "We don't want rioters to destroy shops, buses, and schools. They use Nahel as an excuse. We want the situation to calm down." Oh, kurwa! Wait, somebody played that? I thought I was in the video, dude. She's like, "Have you heard what's happening in France?" Yeah, I did. This is France. And this is Poland. I took my riots to Poland. Oh, man. All right. U.S. President Joe Biden Blast will visit the UK, Lithuania, and Finland from July 9th to 13th. In the UK, he will meet with King Charles III, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. In Lithuania, Biden will attend the NATO summit. And in Finland, the US Scandinavian summit of the Nordic countries. There you go. Going on a vacation. PMC wanker suspended the recruitment of mercenaries for a month. Made a post. Okay, that's interesting. In Poland, a mysterious metal case was found on the porch of an orphanage in the Carpathian village of Gluga. The inscription on it said that it was a donation. Police officers arrived, opened the case, and found sweets and about $25,000 in it. That's cute. Proszę się nie bać, packa to darownia. I can't read Polish that well. Could have been money and then sweets at the top. Some Trump shit.
For any
What is this now?
public schools that are engaged in these militant and country-destroying practices, I will instruct the DOJ
The way he's talking is just so funny.
to pursue them as violators of the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause of our Constitution.
Bro, what a populist, dude. Pathetic cringe.
To vigorously enforce yesterday's Supreme Court ruling, I will eliminate all diversity.
I will eliminate all the students in the United States universities. American citizens do not deserve education. Okay? All you need to do is build the wall. All right? You don't need any diplomas for that. You can just put the bricks. Okay? I have a very good bricks. I have a person in China. Who sells me very good bricks. Okay? We can use them to build the wall. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great
Equity and inclusion programs across the entire federal government.
It's going to be tremendous big wall, okay? And I'm telling you right now, the picture of that wall is going to be having so many retruths on my platform. Retruths, dude. When I read that shit called retruths, I was laughing so hard, dude. Oh, man. What a young politician. Biden is old, though. True. The future of Crimea may become a decisive issue in the Russian Federation war against Ukraine, says Schultz. Crimea belongs to Ukraine for a very, very long time. Already during the times of the Soviet Union, the Ukraine was an independent state with membership in the UN. By the way, the Russian Federation was the first to leave the Soviet Union, not Ukraine. Bro, you know what? I feel like people like celebrating Western politicians that recognize that Crimea is Ukrainian. I feel like it's a little bit too much. We all know it's Ukrainian. Like, bro, why even discussing it? It's like, the fuck? It's ours, dude. Okay. Kadirka decided to record a video and refute the rumors. This is so funny because Kadirka means like a hole. Like they're changing his name a little bit, and it's like a little hole. Kadirka decided to record a video and refute the rumors about his serious conditions. He don't look good though. He says, Don, I'm Degen, and I'm gonna fucking die soon, hopefully. Bro, what the fuck are they eating? Dried bread, bro? They fucking... What? Dried bread, jam, and fucking tea? Richest Chechen, by the way. Holy fucking shit. Christ, bro. For a culture all about beards, why do their beards look so shit? Bro, what is not shit in their countries? Everything is. Have you seen their wives, dude? They do like, bleh, like shit like that. I'm kidding, dude. No, I'm kidding. That's kind of racist, okay? I'm kind of kidding, dude. Only kinda, right? Joe Biden will personally participate in the NATO summit on July 11th and 12th in Vilnius. Wowee. Crazy, guys. Say it about the Welsh, so it's okay. I mean, they look white enough, you know? I think it's like pull up that scale from Family Guy, see like this skin tone, and it's like, okay, this is good enough, right? Anyway, holy shit. All right. Listen, what can I say? Not much. Not much. I think I said all I wanted to say, right? So, guys, Chechens are the Welsh of Russia. I don't know about that, but it's kind of weird, right? Like unironically, it's like Chechnya is what would happen to Ukraine if Russia wins. Like, fuck that. I don't like that. I don't want that. Fucking regime that some of the most stupid, degenerate fucking morons are at the head of. But Chechnya is way smaller country than Ukraine. Like, it's gonna be such a security crisis in Europe if that happens. Like, it can't be allowed to happen. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Tune in tomorrow. I stream every day. That's a reminder, okay, for everyone who doesn't know. So make sure to follow my stream. Make sure to join the Discord, okay? We have a Discord every day. No, I'm not skipping a single day. I've been streaming for years every day, okay? So make sure to join my Discord. And you can support me monetarily, okay? That's also really good. Nice. There's the links. You can support via credit card with the first link, PayPal with the second, and you can also subscribe to my Patreon. No nudes there, but there's extra Ukrainian content there in English, of course, right? It's just me fucking around, whatever. It's kind of like you know, it's kind of unhinged, but do that. No nudes yet, yeah, so you better subscribe, don't miss it. I have 5 Patreons there, yeah. Subscribe, it's only $5. I appreciate it. You also get a super special nickname color and status on Discord for that, by the way. Okay, the end of the stream is now. Leave now. See you tomorrow.